A Long Island school bus driver caught drinking on the job didn't know White Claw was alcoholic. It was a mistake. So let's check this out. Now, personally, to me, I've never drank alcohol, but I do know that, like, if you try to get a White Claw, because I could see it while getting like green tea and whatnot kind of stuff and energy drinks, I could clearly see that they get sold in like an alcohol section. And if you were to get anything from there, you'd get carded. So I don't know how you could potentially buy alcohol by mistake. That is something I don't understand. But what might be the case is that maybe she lives with a family member that drinks White Claw, that maybe just had White Claw inside like a fridge or something. I don't know. But let's get right into it. But I'm pretty certain White Claw and any other alcoholic beverage has some sort of label on it telling the alcoholic content of that drink. Because I think they have to by law. So let's check this out. A Long Island school bus driver caught drinking while bringing students home last week will not face charges because police believe her story that she grabbed a hard seltzer without realizing it was alcoholic. Now, it's kind of interesting that she's not facing charges because you're technically driving under the influence and you're driving a bunch of kids. That seems kind of crazy to me. So this 60-year-old driver, Amal Hanna, told News 12 Long Island that she is what? She is teetotal, whatever the hell that is, because she's undergoing chemotherapy for cancer, which also leaves her unable to taste if drinks are alcoholic. Now, I could kind of understand that just because, like, when you go through chemotherapy, basically every single cell within your body basically gets effed up, right? So I can understand that line of thinking. That being said, if there's like because I understand like the taste aspect, but if this thing has labels of alcoholic content, right? So like hold on, let's just go to White Claw, right? So White Claw images. White Claw right here, the very first image says hard seltzer, right? Let's see. It says 5% alcohol right here. 5% alcohol right here. Literally on what? Every single can? 5%, 5%, 5%. It literally says 5% alcohol here. 5% even on the brand right here. 5% right there. All 5% alcohol. 5% alcohol. Yeah. It's like on literally every single can, they literally say that it's alcoholic. Like, that seems kind of like crazy to me. Is like, you're not blind, right? I understand that she might be going through chemotherapy, if that is true. But again, you're not blind, like, at all. You can see the label on the can. And if you are not aware of what is written on the can that you're drinking, should you even be driving people around in a bus? Like that's the thing that I don't understand. Like if you are not aware, like if you cannot notice what's on side of on the side of a can that you're drinking of, in like bold letters and numbers saying 5% alcohol, and that it's hard seltzer, should you be driving around a bus filled with a whole bunch of kids that are going to be distracting to you? Probably not. She says she grabbed a White Claw from the fridge she shares with a roommate and hop podge, thinking she was drinking a regular fruit flavored seltzer, while driving kids home from Smithtown High School west on Wednesday. So it was kind of like what I was thinking, that she just potentially grabbed the drink because, yeah, if you definitely bought alcohol, there's no way that you just accidentally buy alcohol. It was just a mistake. It was a mistake. The newly fired driver said through tears, fearing she could end up homeless from going through chemo without a job. For people like me that don't drink, how are they going to know this is alcohol? She asked, pointing out how the can only warned it was in small print. Except for it wasn't small print, right? Like, that's the thing. It's not, it's like, it's literally right on there. And it also says it's hard seltzer. Hard seltzer, 8% alcohol. Now, like, giving the benefit of the doubt, probably one of the main reasons why they didn't necessarily charge her is because they probably didn't want her to be dealing with chemo inside jail or something like that, which is understandable. Although I believe if you go to jail or prison, healthcare is completely for free, I believe. So technically speaking, if she did go to jail, they would have to give her chemo for free, I believe. Now I'm just guessing, but technically speaking, she probably could have done that. But yeah, dealing with chemotherapy and not having a job, not having insurance is a pretty big issue. And like, it's already hard enough. Like, I completely understand that. The problem is you really can't make life altering mistakes in that type of position right now, right? Like, and she has to be able to like find a job to pay her bills, then to also be able to go to the hospital and like literally take care of herself. And it's already going to be beyond expensive, regardless of the type of health insurance that she has. It's sad. But also, when you think about it too, right? How could you like lose the taste for alcohol and chemo, but keep the taste of fruit flavored drinks? That seems kind of odd to me, huh? Can you still taste alcohol while you are going through chemo? Hmm. So this is what Cancer Research UK. Uh, Alcohol and chemotherapy. Whether you drink alcohol during your course of chemotherapy will partly depend on the particular drugs you're having. With some chemotherapy drugs, it is very important not to drink alcohol as they interact and could make you unwell. Your doctors and nurses giving the treatment will be able to give you specific advice about whether drinking alcohol is safe with your chemotherapy drugs. Some chemotherapy drugs can make you feel sick or you may lose your appetite. If you're able to drink, then small amounts of alcohol may help to boost your appetite, but excessive drinking would not be a good idea, whatever type of chemotherapy you are on. Some chemotherapy drugs cause a change in taste, so food and drink may not taste as they did before. This can mean that people who used to enjoy alcohol do not enjoy having a drink while on treatment anyway. This will go back to normal once the treatment has finished, and some people also develop a sore mouth while having chemotherapy, and you may find that alcohol stings, particularly spirits. Yeah, so like it doesn't say anything about you losing the taste for alcohol, and you could definitely like it just changes your taste. So, do I believe her? Honestly, no, I don't. I don't believe her. But like the thing is, if she was like doing basically any other job than driving a bus filled with people in it, no one would really care, right? Like if you were like working like a clerk position behind a computer where you're just sitting and you were drinking, who would care? Probably no one, right? And like if you're dealing with this type of situation, but you're behind the wheel of a vehicle, okay? You didn't just put yourself in danger, you didn't just put those kids in danger, but you also put basically anyone on the road in danger. Not to mention, if you can't read what is on the can where it says alcohol, how can you read things on the road, like signs, like stop signs, road signs? Like, how are you able to do your job, like, at all? I have been crying and crying. I don't even have any more tears, she told News 12. Police believe her story, and Hannah will not be charged, a spokesperson for Suffolk County Police Department confirmed to Newsday. However, she was fired from her job of 15 years and is now not sure how she will be able to support herself amid chemo. Hannah said, yeah, I'm frightened I'm going to be on the street because of a mistake, she said through sobs. She said transporting the children every day was a bright spot in her life. I love the kids. I love my company, she said. I go in the morning so happy, see the kids, say good morning, how are you? Give them a big smile, Hannah said, adding that it makes my life happy when I see the kids going to school happy. A parent who spoke to News 12 also described her as so sweet, saying she was always kind to the students. I can't imagine she would ever do anything to harm them, the parent said. I think it was a very honest mistake. Smithtown Central School District Superintendent Mark Sakar announced last week that the drinking driver was promptly taken from the bus and a different driver completed the route. Hannah has since been fired by WE Transport Incorporated, the Long Island based school bus company that employed her, a spokesperson confirmed to the Post last week. This alleged conduct is completely unacceptable and the driver has been immediately removed from service, the spokesperson said. Smithtown School District officials also said she will no longer transport any Smithtown student. Our students' safety is of the utmost importance to the Smithtown Central School District, and we will remain steadfast in our efforts to create a safe environment for all our students. Secor told parents in an email, noting that the district has zero tolerance for this behavior. Yeah, like I mean, like I understand why they fired her, etc. Because again, like personally, I don't really believe her, but she definitely needs to find a job that doesn't require her to be behind the wheel, right? Because she's probably going to drink again, and she needs to stay away from vehicles in terms of like a job, income, anything, you know? Let's see some of these comments. And by the way, like the sad part too is being 60 years old, having to drive a bus filled with kids while going through chemo. Like, that's why it's very important to get your personal finances in check by that time. Otherwise, it could get really, really bad. Like, you don't want to be 60 years old struggling with chemo at that point. So there's a lot missing from this story. How did they catch her in the first place? She was literally probably drinking in front of the kids. My guess is she might guess is she had an open view because she honestly thought it was some kind of soda, and one of the kids told on her the proper thing for this company to do would have been to put her on administrative duty, while she was receiving chemo because that in and of itself could reduce her driving ability. Hopefully, she beats the cancer and they do right by her by reinstating her into her old job. The thing is, like, you you really should not be behind the wheel if you were drinking, let alone if you were on chemo. Like, chemo affects pretty much every single cell in your body, and it makes you feel very, very weak. Like, it damages you, like, on a whole. Like, it's probably not safe for her to be behind the wheel to begin with when she's on chemo. How terrible that this woman who is so sick still needs to work and has now lost her insurance. I believe her that she didn't drink it, didn't think it was alcohol. Chemotherapy destroys all cells in the body, including the brain. This is so sad. Yeah, like that's the thing. Is like this whole situation is sad because like she needs the job, she needs the money, she needs the insurance, but also at the same time, the drugs to save her life is also destroying her body to the extent that she can't do the job that is help providing her way of care. Let's see. This person says the White Claw can states that it is 5% alcohol clearly on the front of the can. It states that it is hard seltzer, no less than 4 times. It states that it is made with the Brew Pure brewing process, no less than 2 times. It states that it is 5% alcohol on the back of the can. It states that it is a beer on the rear of the can. It lists alcohol as the second ingredient. If you are unable to tell that you are drinking alcohol when drinking a White Claw, you are clearly not qualified to drive a bus full of children. Yeah, definitely. So, as a fellow chemo patient, I totally understand. We cannot taste properly, and most things taste awful. Nobody on chemo would be drinking alcohol, which can negate your treatments, poor lady. See, that's the thing. Like, the problem is, she might have, like, it might have been the case where she just did it by accident. But again, you didn't notice a can that had alcohol written all over it. That seems kind of crazy. But two, it might be a situation that maybe she was drinking because she just wanted to feel something different. Maybe not the pain of the chemo. Like, there's a few people saying, like, put her back to work, but the problem is, even without the alcohol in this situation, having chemotherapy treatments, and from what it seems like, you're getting it pretty hardcore, you shouldn't, like, I don't think you're actually fit to be driving a vehicle. And this person says give her an inside job, no driving, paperwork job, dispatching, etc. Yeah, I would agree. That wouldn't be that bad of an idea. But also, this is probably why if you like if you're worried about like chemotherapy type of stuff, maybe you should structure your health insurance in a way where like you pay basically out of pocket for everything small, but catastrophic type of stuff like chemo stuff would be taken care of. So the only problem is every time you go to the doctor, it's probably going to cost quite a bit, other than this point, right? Where like basically, I think you could set it up where if it goes past a certain amount, then everything's covered, right? Like for example, let's say that you surpass like 100 grand, then everything gets covered by the insurance. But there's always going to be like finagling with health insurance as well. This person again saying give her job back, it was a mistake. I just think this is like I think this is such like a horrible situation just like in general. And like look at this comment, right? From like Mikey Sky Dweller. Bro, give this woman back her job, have a heart. Crying emojis. Yeah. Feel free to give your thoughts if you stumble upon this. But to me, I don't believe her story, but I'm glad she didn't get charged with anything because I mean, imagine dealing with all that sort of stuff at 60. Like you're dealing with chemo, you're dealing with a loss of job, you're dealing with potentially loss of insurance, you're dealing with getting arrested, potentially getting charges, etc. It's like, oh man, dealing with all that, yeah. Like to me, I think what probably happened, she probably just felt like at like a breaking point because of the chemotherapy was just getting to her, and she just again wanted to just feel something different, and that's why she grabbed alcohol. That's my thoughts because again, it's really hard to miss the whole alcohol thing on these cans. It's like right in the face, multiple sides, multiple fonts, multiple ways. It seems kind of crazy.